Here we go, pilgrims. It's Thursday morning here in the Spice Isle. Good morning. I'm George Grant, inviting you to join me for the next hour or so for today's edition of, yeah, man, Good Day Grenada. Yeah, I'm going to be talking with them this morning. I know a lot of you came in just to see and hear what this character has to say this morning. And I don't expect anything less than he's graced us with over the past year or so, Mr. Alan Baczynski. But first, let's take a look at the rundown, see what's cooking here. A release came out yesterday announcing your tax obligations for Carnival. That word again, tax, tax, tax. Yeah, 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 yeah. Tax, tax, tax. More taxes. Well, this time the taxes seem to be going towards those who are going to be masquerading on the streets of Grenada come August. Yeah, we'll share that with you in just a wee bit. Also, just a quick note on the list of shelters for the hurricane season. Still haven't seen those, even though we are into we're just finishing off the second week of the hurricane season. And we're also going to take a look at the situation down at Mount Hartman. Pathetic. It's pathetic. Yes, we do have the national report for you today. And then we will be saying good morning to Mr. Baczynski. Now, I want to tip you off, just in case Alan shows up a little bit early before we start the national report. Um, we'll go with him, and then we'll run the national report towards the end of the program, right? Okay. Now, now. What's going on here? Margaret says, why am I not hearing you? I don't know. Why aren't you hearing me, Margaret? Why isn't Margaret hearing me? Well, that's interesting. We can resolve that issue in a heartbeat. Anyhow, we're just going to continue plugging along here and hope that she eventually hears us. Okay, folks, the Inland Revenue Division, IRD, is advising the general public that, in keeping with the provisions of the Value Added Tax Act of 2009, the sale of fancy mass carnival costumes will attract, I like that word, a 15% VAT as of the 2020 tax period. This was agreed to after a recent consultation held with the fancy mass band leaders. However, as it relates to Monday Night Mass packages, please be reminded that the sale of each package will attract the 15% value added tax as per normal. Got that? All mass band leaders who are not yet registered with the IRD are encouraged to register with the division for tax purposes no later than the 1st of July. It's a couple of weeks from now. Band leaders who have formed a company or alternatively operate in their own name, sole traders, if you will, please note the following. 4A. A company structure, if that's what you operate under, a company structure, the requirement would be to file and pay corporate income tax along with other applicable taxes. And two, if you operate under a sole trader structure, that's, on your own, the requirement would be to file and pay personal income tax along with other applicable taxes. And you, Mr. and Mrs. John Q. Public, are also being advised that in accordance with the provisions of the VAT Act, prices that are quoted by promoters on tickets for all public entertainment events should be VAT inclusive, okay? So when you go buy your ticket for 50, 60 bucks, whatever, those 50 or 60 bucks should include the VAT. Be advised of that. All right? Now, yeah, some of the folks are there. Margaret's there. Fitzroy's there. Glenna. Oh, yeah. You guys weren't hearing me. All right. Now, last Tuesday, we were told that the list of hurricane shelters would be out this week. Remember that? And although this week still has a couple of days to go, I still haven't seen that list. Have you? Having said that, the Atlantic Basin continues to look quite calm for the time being, and it appears that things will remain that way for the next 6 to 10 days. That's what the forecasters are saying. But please, I beg you, don't allow that to instill an air of complacency in you. Okay? All right. Richard's joining us. Richard's here. Good morning, Richard, and how are you? A few weeks ago, we showed you some video of a visit I did to the Mount Hartman Bird Sanctuary. It was a pretty rainy Saturday morning, and we were not able to capture as much as we wanted. But thankfully, Vincent Roberts has been able to get out there on a more favorable day and capture a series of still images, which he has posted on his Facebook page. Folks, I want you to take a look at this. Take a look at this. Take a look. This is the Mount Hartman Dove Sanctuary. Why do we have to be so nasty? Somehow I get the feeling of well-being when I'm in a clean environment. But when I look around at what this country has turned into, I ask myself if I am the one who's abnormal. Seriously. Am I the only person who feels good when I'm in a clean environment? Folks, thankfully, I know I'm not. But there are far too many who think that people like you and me are weirdos. We have no place here. Grenada is we own. Is we time. You've heard those phrases? Huh? Yeah, that's the kind of excuse we get when we talk about the filth in this place. Well, where are the pride and decency which we once knew? I'm not ashamed to continue dreaming that those days will someday return. In the meantime, all I ask is that you cease the indiscriminate littering of our environment for your good, my good, and the good of all Grenadians. Please, please. And yes, for those who, believe it or not, for those on whom you spend millions of dollars telling them how pure Grenada is, huh? Yeah, please, clean up the place. Clean up the place. Well, I said to you a few minutes ago that if Mr. Brzezinski got here before I started the national report, I would go directly to him rather than put him on after the national report. Well, guess what? Oi, oi, take a look. See that man? Man, he hot for so this morning. He hot. Good morning, Mr. Brzezinski. How are you, sir?
Good morning. As Francis Alexis used to say, I'm on top of the world.
You're on top of the world. Well, it's so nice to have you here this morning. Red shirt, does that, any message there?
I'm seeing red.
You're seeing red? Oh, is that an indication of what you've got up your sleeve this morning? Something's got you kind of hot this morning?
Yep. Nawasa.
Nawata? Nah, okay. Well, Mr. B, I got some stuff for you as well, but tell me, what's got you so hot about Nawasa this morning?
Well, you remember this started with Simon Says in Parliament when he took exception to one senator reporting that the members of his community had complained about the quality of the water. And Simon says that you can't come and say things like that because it's irresponsible and you have to consider the impact on the country's image. And Simon says a lot of things. But we have to appreciate and accept the reality. Now, just yesterday, a caller on our radio program was complaining about the fact that he is a farmer in Hope Vale. Hope Vale is in a valley. It's a valley of hope, perhaps. And he is complaining that he has not been supplied water in weeks. Now you remember 2 or 3 months ago, we were advised that based on meteorological projections, we might be facing a water emergency.
Yes.
And that the Nawasa will be going to cabinet to have this state of emergency declared.
Yes.
I don't think that ever happened. And in fact, I think that our dry season, while it has been extensive, I don't know that in many areas that people really realized there was a dry season on.
Yeah, true.
In fact, we experienced in years past where Nawasa would put out notices, and I think that some people are actually charged for using hoses to irrigate their gardens or to wash vehicles or whatever. But by and large, you haven't heard about many problems, except that, according to these reports, the problems exist. On a previous show, I did mention I had heard that there were some areas of Mount Airy where water hadn't been received through the mains for weeks. Apparently, in Hope Vale, they're having a similar problem. I don't know what the reason is, but the point I want to make is that Nawasa has a corporate communications department, and you are not hearing, or the affected consumers are not hearing any satisfactory explanation, or more importantly, being given any indication as to whether they will get water. I listened to this caller last night saying that having called Nawasa, the only response he got was that you must be living up a hill. Well, he claims that he has a farm and he's not living up a hill, and that there are other people who are getting water. Another caller complained that in the southern part of St. George, and his complaint had to do with all of the emphasis seems to be on providing water to foreigners at the expense of locals. Well, he was invited to explain what foreign properties were receiving water when Grenadians were not. Because as far as I know, the water goes through a main line, and if you have a connection and a meter, as long as the water is flowing through the main line, you should get water unless the water has been involved in valve regulation, which was threatened, but I don't know that valve regulation is still in effect. So I have concern regarding the apparent deficiency in the communications department of the Water and Sewerage Authority to meet the needs of their consumers. And if you're unable to meet the needs daily, surely arrangements ought to be made with valve regulation so that individuals, particularly farmers, the productive sector of our economy, that they can get water. It should not be beyond the capacity of the officials at Nawata to identify the problem, come up with solutions, and implement them. Now, it's easy for me to say, I have a water tank. And to tell you the truth, I am not certain as to when last there has been any extended period of non-supply through the main. So I'm in a fortunate position, for which I'm grateful, of course. Having said that, before anybody jumps on my back, remember that whatever water I get, I pay for. I'm not depriving anyone of water. So let's get that out of the way early. But in addition to that, you were speaking about it just before I came on. This business about this nastiness in this place.
Hold on, Alan, hold on a sec before you get into this nastiness. Before you do, I just want to touch on something you said a little while ago. Yes, I've been hearing that from the authorities that this is such a severe dry season. But I'll tell you, I am baffled this year because you know where I work and live here, and when I take a look outside, in the past, the ground, especially, let's take for example down at Port Louis, parched. You know that lawn they have down there? Parched.
Yeah.
Alan, it hasn't been that bad this year. And a lot of it, pardon me?
Exactly. So we haven't yet seen sustained rain, but that patch of ground is a good indicator. The Tantine recreational ground,
Yeah.
is another very good indicator
Yeah.
as to whether or not we are getting rain or not. We can accept that the rain has not been sustained,
Yeah.
but nevertheless there have been showers.
Yes, there have.
And in particular, if I look at cloud cover, it seems to me that from Mardi Gras all the way back to St. David's, the southeastern coast, where there are, I think, 2 or 3 water catchment areas, reservoirs, distribution plants, whatever, I believe that there has been rainfall in those areas.
Yeah.
So the complaints made by certain consumers ought to be investigated. The cause of the problem might be a blockage in the branch line.
Exactly.
Somebody turned the valve off and forgot to turn it back
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
This has been known to happen, by the way, in the process of valve regulation. They switch off a valve and then nobody comes back to turn it back on 2 days later or
Yeah.
whatever the schedule should be.
I'll tell you,
So,
a couple of areas I've been hearing some serious complaints about are St. Paul's and St. David's.
and it ought not to be, because there's significant catchment up in the higher elevations of Mardi Gras, going all the way through to St. David.
Yeah. So.
But to get back to the nastiness now,
Go for it.
I don't know what to say, because last week, you remember, I was pressed for time, and I had the opportunity to drive around the island with some visitors. And it was embarrassing, to say the least, because I said to them that to make a departure from the usual main road route around the island, as far as possible, we went into the interior roads and only rejoined the main road to come into the towns. But it was embarrassing. The garbage everywhere, the derelict vehicles. I actually saw a photograph of a derelict vehicle with a sign on it posted by the Ministry of Health.
I want to talk with you about that. Go ahead.
Quite remarkable. And it, as I say, it really is embarrassing. Now, we have all of this, what is it? Unutilized labor capacity. We've heard about a problem with the farm labor subsidy, or the subsidized farm labor program. Surely, if the money is available and the farmers are not in a position to utilize the labor that's available, why can't we put some of those funds into the famous environmental wardens to pick up the litter that can be picked up manually, as opposed to the heavy and unauthorized garbage disposal, which would require the application of machinery.
Like vehicles.
But there are plenty people who should be employed in cleaning up our surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
It is disgraceful, it is embarrassing, and as you say, how can we justify spending money marketing this fiction of pure Grenada? It's a nonsense.
AB,
Words fail.
not just you, bro. AB, I am so happy that you mentioned this derelict vehicle that you saw. And by the way, you did send me 2 images. One of the vehicle, which, as you said, had a notice posted on the side of it, and you also sent a separate image of the notice. Well, I posted those 2 pictures on the GRENADABROADCAST.com website. And lo and behold, it so happens that somebody who lives in very close proximity to where that vehicle was saw the pictures. AB, that afternoon, he contacted me. He says, "Boy, George, you send somebody into my neighborhood to take pictures of the garbage?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "I saw this picture." He says, "George, that's right next door to me here, right next." He says, "As soon as I saw it, I recognized it." I said, "Oh, really?" He says, "Yeah. And you know, I've been living in this neighborhood for about 21 years. And George, this thing been here since 21." Yeah. So, you know, it raises the question how serious these people in authority are when they issue these threats. Essentially, that little note that was on it said, you know, get this thing.
And the notice refers to the legal authority.
Yes.
It's under some act or whatever it is.
Yes.
2001. The
Yes.
legislation has been in effect since 2001. Now, the notice itself was posted so long ago that it's faded, so you don't
Yes.
know to whom it is addressed, who signed it, what was the date, and it says within 7 days.
Within 7 days. And AB, you
I mean,
know,
it's laughable if it wasn't so pitiable.
and perhaps if you went back there today, AB, it might still be there.
And the worst part about it is that the parliamentary representative has been engaged on the matter and has referred to the issue with these derelicts. You
Yeah,
remember?
I've
You
seen,
remember?
I, I've seen some of those. Now it's pathetic. A lot of brouhaha, and Vincent did a really nice job. Did you see the pictures that were posted on the SWGG forum about?
Which 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 is why I referred to this nastiness, because I absolutely agree. That's what it is. Simply nasty.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this, AB. I mean, we can blame the authorities for not cleaning up that mess and for allowing it to happen in the first place. But what about us, the people who go do that garbage, dump that garbage?
Well, this always happens when there's a breakdown of law and order, that people will do whatever they think they can get away with. We had the same issue with sand mining, which has eroded so many of our beaches. And that was because the powers that be turned a blind eye to sand mining because they said that people needed sea sand for construction. They
Yeah,
couldn't afford to buy quarry sand.
yeah,
As a result, you have Gravel and Concrete Corporation, or whatever it is, in dire financial straits. And we have subsequently seen whole-scale importation of sand from Trinidad or Guyana, wherever it is from, I don't know. But what I know is that this sand is not being imported by Gravel and Concrete alone. It appears that certain private individuals are taking advantage of the opportunities which have been presented. I see a stockpile of this sand just down in the reclaimed swamp area that just south or southeast of the sugar factory or the Chinese Sojicoa property. That entire area is subject to, it is being developed quite impressively. But it is only yesterday that I noticed the stockpile of the sand.
yeah. You know, it,
In the meantime, Gravel and Concrete continues to limp along.
limp, yeah. AB, some time ago, you may recall that I did a piece, a video on what was happening down there at Mount Hartman. And the two gentlemen who appeared in that video are two operators who are people who are supposed to be showcasing this pure Grenada that we have. And these two gentlemen are also involved in a movement called the Grenada Green Group. They're trying to keep this place clean. You know, they actually used to arrange cleanups where they go out there and pick up a lot of the garbage. Well, they've given up on that. They pissed off. But they have promised me that sometime this month they're going to take me on a tour around the island. These folks take thousands of visitors around the island, trying to tell them this is pure Grenada. Well, they're going to take me to see some of the pure Grenada. And before we go on that trip, I want to talk with you about some of what you observed because I'm hoping that, we could also capture some of that stuff. And we're going to package this and bring it to the Grenadian people's faces. Let them see for
Yeah,
themselves.
because it is obvious that there's no point bringing it to the tourism authority.
Yeah. Yeah. Pure Grenada. Pure Grenada. Man, it just galls me. I get a lot of press releases, and they don't refer to this country as Grenada anymore. It's just pure Grenada, the spice of the
Yeah.
Caribbean, and that is so annoying. I mean, if you're doing a promotion, fine, but you're putting out a press release to give people some information, and everything is pure Grenada, pure Grenada. Can you imagine if when the government talks about Grenada, it's pure Grenada? Anybody who talks about about Grenada, it's pure. Why the hell have we gone in that direction, man? And then you and I have to sit here and talk about this crap that we see every day.
Yep. Well, it just goes to show that if you repeat a lie long enough, it becomes
Yeah,
believable.
yeah,
It is the root of all propaganda campaigns.
yeah.
Repeat the lie often enough, people believe it.
Couldn't some of the
Thankfully, there are people who are not inclined to believe lies or liars.
yeah, couldn't some of the resources being used to push this pure Grenada movement be used to ensure that we actually do keep this place pure?
Exactly. Put some of the money that is being expended on all of these jaunts overseas and all of the traffic wardens, the environmental wardens. What happened to the closed circuit TVs that, again, we heard that these were ordered some time ago, but they never arrived. They're looking into that again. That was supposed to assist the police with the efforts to combat radial larceny. Well, those same closed circuit TVs can be used to identify the vehicles which are engaged in unauthorized dumping. So I'm looking forward to the closed circuit television cameras being put up. And a word of caution to all of these human rights lawyers. Yes, your privacy stops when it invades my space. And any public space is my space. So don't come and tell me that you don't want cameras up. We need cameras to see what nastiness so many people are getting up to.
I just hope the cameras don't go the same way that the radar guns went.
How about the traffic lights?
Well, give me a break. I can only get one out at a time, but I was getting to the traffic lights too, AB. Absolutely, absolutely. You know, you hear all these boasts about, hey, and what about the mobile ambulance, the motorcycle ambulances?
That came up on the program I was listening to. An individual living up in St. Andrew was complaining about the condition of the roads and how difficult it would be for people to get to the clinic or to Mirabeau Hospital or an ambulance if necessary to get up. And I immediately said, well, hold on a second. That is precisely the sort of road conditions that these motorcycle ambulances were designed to address. What's going on with the motorcycle ambulances? And the caller's response was that, yes, you know where two of them are taking bush.
Taking bush.
As a matter of fact, I have an idea. I saw a photograph of two of them in Soteres taking bush.
Yes, I saw that as well. I saw that. John, first of all, here we got some comments here. Lydia James says, "Poor PWR Grenada," and you know I'm seeing that show up a lot nowadays on social media. Whenever you say pure Grenada, somebody comes up and says, "Poor Grenada." Well,
Indeed.
pardon me.
Indeed.
Barbara and Jack seemed, I could be wrong, but it seems that Barbara Ann Jack is taking offense to that. She says, Grenada is the Isle of Spice, not poor Grenada. Well, technically, Barbara Ann, I think all of us would love to believe that. Take a look at the reality, Barbara Ann. Take a look. And tell me if you can blame people who, like Lydia says here, say, poor Grenada. And let's be honest. Let's be honest. I love this place, land of my birth. No place more beautiful. But it's a shame. Just take a look at the video we did some time ago. Take a look at the pictures that Vincent has up on his website right now. Pathetic. Listen to what AB is saying. Just take a look around. Come to grips with the reality, and until such time as we do, we can't solve the problem. we can't. Um,
And the next time Simon says anything, take it with a pound of salt.
Not a grain, a pound. uh, AB, somebody named Arthur Langine says, AB, you have to call the 6:30 radio show on WeFM and talk about these things.
The suggestion is to call WeFM and plead my cause.
Yes, apparently there's a 6:30 radio show on WeFM, and he's suggesting that you call and talk to them about the things you're talking to us about here this morning.
I hold the conceit that people will listen to this station and be informed as to these issues. There's only so much one person can do, and I rather enjoy this program, not WeFM.
Okay. John Bruno says, it's plain. Yeah, that's going to get you a cup of coffee, AB. John Bruno says, it's plain to see the priorities of the powers that be. It's upside down. He's talking about the situation here. Well, I also have a new one for you, Mr. Basinski. Lydia James says, we're talking of Isle of Spice, pure Grenada. She's just come up with a new one. I wonder how many millions we're going to spend promoting this one. She says, Isle of Spite, Spite, Port Grenada. That's a brand new. I haven't seen that one before.
As the standard response is, if you're going to make a statement like that, then I think you should bring me the evidence.
Lydia, he says, if you're going to make a statement like that, make sure you bring him the evidence. I'll give you his address.
Okay? Because otherwise, Simon might say that this is a reckless statement, and that by accepting it, we will be contributing to despoiling the image of our dear country.
Yeah.
It's important to listen to what Simon says.
And it's so sad, AB, that it's only when people like us who speak about the issues, the serious issues, that he makes remarks like that. Kipling says, unless you admit there's a problem, you will never find a solution. Well, I think we just made that point. One more thing I know I'm not going to wait until you tell me that you got to get out of here, but I got to ask you this. Did you go to the music festival?
No, I did not. I generally choose to avoid crowds in open spaces when there is a high probability of precipitation.
Yeah, high probability of precipitation. Makes sense to me, sir. Okay. John Bruno says, when we look at the amount of money spent on environmental wardens, it leaves us to wonder. Yeah. Okay, John.
Well, again, we've heard about these environmental wardens, but I don't know how much money is being spent on them. I'm not sure where they are assigned or employed. Are we talking about debushers?
Regarding the comment you made a moment ago, Margaret says, and then Simon would say, off with her head.
I wouldn't want to put words in Simon's mouth.
Okay. All right, Abe, I think I'm going to let you get out of here before you get both of us into more trouble. I'm a prime target already.
How's your streaming this morning then?
Perfect. Hey, listen, man. Listen. Yesterday, Alan, we had the first perfect stream in about 2 weeks. And I'm keeping my pinkies crossed. This morning, perfect. Even with you on there, AB, my stream is perfect this morning.
Very good. Well, keep it up, as I say. And on the question of streaming and bandwidth, you know that my provider, Flow, very proudly announced recently that they were upgrading everybody's
Oh yeah,
service.
yeah.
And what I have noticed in checking my speed up to yesterday on their speed test, my download speed has not moved from 25 Mbps or whatever it is. My upload speed, however, has increased from 3 to 10. Well, I'm not in business, so I'm not uploading. It's my download. I want to get the benefit of that free upgrade to 50 Mbps, which was advertised. But I don't recall them putting a time frame on it. They just said it's going to work. So in the meantime, I'm not complaining. I'm just going with the flow.
Okay. Hold on a minute. Don't go yet because you're different from me. I rely more on upload speeds because I have to send this program out to you folks. Well, I'm happy to say that with Digi, I have an agreement for 100 down and 20 up. I have been seeing some fluctuations in the down. I may get 70 or 80, but with the up, I'm getting 20 up. And I seriously believe, and I keep repeating this, they have to be saluted because it has made a dramatic difference in the way I've been able to get my program out. Notwithstanding the other issues we have, which I could be wrong, but I really don't believe they have anything to do with it. I really don't. Okay. Quick comments before.
Long may it continue.
Yes, I hope so. Lydia James says, "Who is Simon? Simon Iron?" Don't tell me you're going to have to go through this whole routine of explaining again who is Simple Simon.
No. I plead the fifth. I will not incriminate my.
Okay. John Bruno says, "These jobs are created to give the donor agencies the impression that we're serious about the environment." All right, you don't have much to say about that. Margaret, I think Margaret is responding to Lydia here. Margaret says, "Remember Simon from the children's game, Simon Says?"
George, I'm going on that note. On that note, I'm going.
Lydia says, "Oh yes." Goodbye, Mr. Brzezinski.
Okay, bye now.
Have a nice day. Take care. Thanks a lot, Alan. All right, nice note to wrap that up on. Thank you so much, folks. Yeah, didn't fail to deliver this morning. He did not fail to deliver this morning. Okay, pilgrims, it's 16 minutes away from the hour. Woo, can you believe it? We've gone, almost 45 minutes and not taking a break. So let's do so right now, and then we'll come back. I know you've been waiting with bated breath for the National Report. That's coming your way next.
Grenadian General Insurance Company, strength and stability. Grenadian General Insurance Company, tell your friends, tell your family. We cover householders comprehensive, motor and even fire too. Contractors all risk burglary, public liability, professional indemnity, directors liability, and wait, we still have more. Come and find out more what you're waiting for.
We are located on Scott Street, St. George's. For more information, call 440-2434.
Tell everybody.
Boy, yo, they gonna fly with kite now. The wind picking up. I'm coming. Karim, what you doing? Fly my kite. Yeah, but not here. You can't fly kite near power lines, boy. Why not? The wind good. Because mommy say, kite threads conduct electricity.
Yeah, kite. He's right.
If your kite gets stuck in power lines, you can cause power outages, or even worse, it can get shocked. Come, let's go and fly them in the pasture. Yeah, that makes sense. Kite threads conduct electricity. Do not fly kites near overhead power lines. This can lead to electric shocks and power outages. If your kite gets stuck in power lines, do not try to retrieve it. Release it and call GRENADA. Always fly kites in open areas. Keep your kites far away from roads. And remember, always clean up after yourself.
GRENADA, energizing our Grenada.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try their sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Government pumps millions into SIAP Youth Development Project. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Wednesday, June 12th, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Government has invested another $2.8 million in youth development as it supports the Climate Smart Agriculture and Rural Enterprise Program SIAP. More than 400 young people will benefit from a 10-month rural development training certified by the National Training Agency in over 15 skills. On Wednesday, 3 service providers, NULO, TAMCC, and GNTA, signed a Memorandum of Understanding for the program, which will target youth between 16 to 35 years. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Patricia Clark, highlighted the importance of youth training and development.
How do we empower youth? Through education. It is the one thread that no matter where you are in this world is a path for your development. And I really want to commend the institutions that are here because each of you represent key stakeholders for our youth. And when you look at the cross-section of programs that are being addressed in the training and the fact that we're targeting 400 young people from rural communities, every sector from ICT, renewable energy, agriculture, the marine sector, tourism, it tells you that if we continue to partner like this, many things can happen.
SIAP's program manager Byron Campbell says the 10-month program goes beyond just the training, but aims to equip the beneficiaries with lifetime qualifications.
We're looking for sustainable employment, sustainable jobs. The rural development program, the SIAP program, goes beyond just the training because it has resources for business development, business financing also, grant support for the young persons who wish to go into their own business. So this is the important dimension of it. So one need to see the linkages also, and also supporting those that, in terms of finding jobs, finding sustainable jobs. So it's not just the training, looking for sustainable employment as we go forward. This is a very important part of this particular program.
Each service provider will focus on over 5 skilled areas of training, including fish processing, web development, electrical installation, housekeeping, AC and refrigeration, agro-food processing, printing, and designing.
Our role in this involves provision of the occupational standards on which the training will be based. We have a responsibility for quality assurance in all the training programs and to certify the candidates that have met all of the requirements with Caribbean vocational qualifications.
We are happy to be part of the equation, preparation, opportunity, and which will give them success. We are looking forward to providing a quality and relevant program.
I watch a lot of our young people who have to pay for themselves, and most of the time, one of the things that makes some of them drop out, we have a good number of them who are single parents. And this particular project is identifying support for single parents.
SIAP is a 6-year program funded by the Government of Grenada, the International Fund for Agriculture, and the Caribbean Development Bank to reduce poverty and vulnerability in rural communities. Given the importance of agriculture to the socio-economic development of Grenada, the government has decided to make greater investments in the sector to make it more competitive. The OECS Regional Agricultural Competitiveness Project is one of the investments in the sector. Grenada is one of 2 regional countries that is implementing the OECS Regional Agricultural Competitiveness Project, AGRICOM. The project has been supported with US $4 million in financing by the World Bank. The objective of the project is to improve farmers' and fishers' access to markets. Addressing the weekly post-cabinet briefing on Wednesday, Minister for Agriculture and Lands, Honorable Yolande Bain-Hosford, indicated the benefits of the project.
And the objective of the project is to improve farmers' and fishers' access to markets. The main target beneficiaries for the project are small-scale, organized farmers and fishers, aggregators and agro-processors, which include producer organizations, associations, cooperatives, or similar formal organizations with good legal standing, and small, medium-sized enterprises such as wholesalers, traders, lead farmers with legal standing to act as aggregators and industrial agro-processors. Okay, so persons like the Poultry Association, fishers organizations in communities, and so these small GRENADA, there's a group in Mount Tranquil, there are a number of groups throughout the island who can apply for support under this program.
The AGRICOM project team has had discussions with the Grenada Development Bank to work with potential beneficiaries. Minister Bain-Hosford also spoke of the eligibility criteria that the farmers, fishers, and allied aggregators must meet.
The farmers and fishers and allied aggregators will be eligible only if they are formally participating together in a strategic, productive alliance approved by the project to pursue the stated objective. So they must work together, even though they have individual projects that they are doing, individual things. For example, you have a group of women, 10 women, who are doing different things in the communities. One might be doing confectionery, one might be doing hot pepper sauce, jam, jelly. They must come together as a team. They must come in a cluster. We wouldn't be funding persons individually, just coming with one product, So they must work together as a team. It is expected that the project would have 800 direct beneficiaries, of which a minimum of 25% will be female and a minimum of 25% will be youth, persons between the ages 16 to 35.
The AGRICOM project implementing unit will provide support to applicants in preparation of business idea profiles once the call for proposal is issued. The project will issue its first call for proposals on Thursday, June 13th. This is the National Report. More news when we return.
Every summer, the Spice Island of Grenada is transformed into the Caribbean's biggest party, Spice Man.
Coming down to Grenada.
Come experience the warmth of our people, trending theme fats, the revelry, the pageantry, and why we are the Jab Nation. The Kids Our Future shines on August 3rd in the Children's Carnival Frolic and the Junior Calypso Show. 7 beauties take center stage as the Queen of Carnival is crowned on majestic Thursday, August 8th. The prestigious Soca and Groovy Monarchs are crowned on Carnival Friday night, August 9th. Enjoy the pulsating rhythms of the Still Pan at the Junior and the Senior Panorama on Carnival Saturday, August 10th, and Real Steel, August 17th. The March Gras crowns the Calypso Monarch on Carnival Sunday, August 11th. 2 days of frolicking in the Caribbean sun kicks off on Monday morning, August 12th, with the biggest Juve in the world. followed by pageant and Monday night mass. The creativity and splendor of our mass parades on the road. Carnival Tuesday, August 13th. Join us in the Jab Nation of Grenada, August 8th to 12th for Spice Mass 2019. Many events, one carnival.
Welcome back. Despite being a public holiday, dozens of residents from various communities in St. David on Monday gathered at the St. David Health Center in Bellevue to capitalize on a range of free oral health, chiropractic and massage therapeutic services currently being provided by a group of Grenadian and Canadian specialists. We get more in this Kevin Frederick report.
The Toronto-based Smile Grenada Carriacou and P.T. Martin Group, headed by Grenadian-born, Canadian-trained dental hygienist Vanessa Felix, returned to Grenada over the weekend for its second dental mission, this time targeting between 300 to 400 persons, including children. In September of 2018, with assistance from the Ministry of Health's Dental Health Department, Smile GCP held its first mission in Grenada at the Guave Health Center in St. John, where close to 200 children of school age and adults benefited from the 4-day dental outreach, which also included a trip to Carriacou. Felix told GIS that due to the huge success of last year's mission, they received several requests for their return, which is why they are back quicker than expected. However, at the start of their 2019 outreach, Felix met with senior managers of the Ministry of Health and later made substantial donations of toothpaste and brushes to 2 primary schools in St. David on behalf of our team. Currently, the mission has a total of 15 volunteers, which includes 3 Grenadians, one of whom is Dr. Sheridan Cyrus, who says that apart from giving back to his home country, he is equally happy to teach and promote the benefits of good oral care. For the National Report, I am Kevin Frederick.
That story just brought the curtains down on the National Report for today, Wednesday, June 12th. Let's recap the top story. Government pumps millions into SIAP Youth Development Project. On behalf of everyone here at the Government Information Service who have made this newscast possible, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
A natural disaster can change your life in minutes. Preparation is the best protection for your family and business. Prepare now. Create a disaster plan and make sure everyone knows what to do. Store water, non-perishable food, and medication. Remember basic emergency supplies such as batteries and flashlights. Trim overhanging trees. If trees near power lines are unsafe to trim, call GRENADA at 237 for assistance or advice. Install surge protectors to safeguard your electrical devices against outages and intermittent surges. For more information, visit grenadac.com.
GRENADA, energizing our Grenada.
I'm always on the move. Training, traveling, competing. So it's good to know I have Co-op Bank in the palm of my hand.
Introducing e-banking, one of many customer convenience services from Grenada Cooperative Bank, and there's more to come.
It's swift, simple, and secure.
Welcome home.
Alrighty, folks. Alrighty. Just about time to pull the curtain down on today's edition of Gudday Grenada. Gonna let you out of here early today, but not without a parting word from the Holy Scriptures. Today, 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 14 to 17. Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? What harmony is there between Christ and Belial? Or what does a believer have in common with an unbeliever? What agreement is there between the temple of God and idols? For we are the temple of the living God. As he has said, I will live with them and walk among them, and I will be their God, and they will be my people. Therefore, come out from them and be separate, says the Lord. Touch no unclean thing, and I will receive you. 2 Corinthians chapter 16, verses 14, chapter 6, verses 14 to 17. Okay, pilgrims, that's going to do it on this, I dare say it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Thursday morning. Thanks for being with us, and by God's grace, let's get together again tomorrow.